Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And with that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Organic herbs and botanicals, skincare and edibles, wellness for body and mind. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. All right, thank you all so much for watching. Again, shout out The Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. Guarantee you're going to like it. And make sure to use code JAMBOX for 20% off and a free gift. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Yo, what's up? It's Atheos.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about, who you are, where you're from, what you do, give us that like Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Basically just like a producer, rapper, like to make beats, like to hang out with friends in the studio, make some good music, just chill out pretty much.
Oh, yeah. And what got you started with music initially?
When I was a kid, my mom had a lot of Beatles records, and Michael Jackson records, and just listening to those growing up made me really appreciate it, but also just made me want to try it out. It looked fun.
Yeah, hell yeah. And was anybody in your family like musical as far as like performing or like playing instruments or anything like that? Or are you like the first generation in your household?
Yeah, growing up, my dad, he likes to sing a lot.
Okay.
So growing up, he would just always be singing in the house.
Yeah.
Early in the morning when I'd be trying to sleep. Yeah, the man was always singing.
I mean, I guess that's a better way of getting woken up than like the lawnmower or
yeah.
or anything like that. Hey, and did he also listen to the same music, a lot of like the Beatles and Michael Jackson and things?
Yeah, he liked a lot of like Mexican, like 80s pop music.
Okay.
And so that kind of had an influence too. But yeah, he knew all those songs by words.
Oh yeah.
So those are the ones he would sing all the time. On my mom's side, her uncles had like a little band, a little cover band.
Okay.
And so that's kind of how she got into the Beatles, because they would do like Beatles covers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they played like at my aunt's wedding. So I was always like growing up seeing them play. I was really interested in drums. That's really my biggest like first interest in music, was learning how to play drums.
Oh, gotcha.
Just seeing my uncles play and hearing all the music made me really want to start trying to do that.
Oh yeah. And did you get to play drums at any point, or was it not okay in the house because of the noise?
No, yeah, my parents were really supportive. When I was in 7th grade, when I got my first drum set.
Oh yeah.
Got into lessons. Yeah, it was really fun. Like I'm surprised like they were so supportive, because I'd be like 7 o'clock at night just banging on those things.
No, it's a difficult instrument to have. So like every time I hear somebody be like, my parents let me do this, I'm like, oh, I'm so jealous, because I definitely did not win that battle. But drums, I think, especially in like, the music you do now and things like that, learning drums is such a useful instrument to have understanding of, because you learn so much about like dynamics, you learn so much about timing, you learn so much about like rhythms and things like that.
Exactly.
And it really, I think that drums are the first instrument everybody should try to learn, even though everybody says it's piano. Like, I think drums are a good instrument because they are the foundation of all the other instruments.
Yeah, no. When you're at a concert and the drummer starts like hitting the sticks before, I just thought they did that for fun. So like I would do that, but it would be totally off tempo from like the
oh
song
no,
would start
so you're
playing.
like 1, 2, 3, 4, but everyone's like, hold on a second.
Yeah, it was hella funny, but I just like thought it was cool to do that.
Oh, well,
and like spinning the drumstick with like your hand.
I'll be honest, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like if I'm just walking around my house, I usually have a stick in my hand. I'm just
yeah, no, it's hella fun.
yeah. Hell yeah. And then we have a couple questions that we check in with everybody on. These are just fun running tally ones. And the first one, it's one we ask early, it's one we ask often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite.
Nice.
What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Shout out to Usher, but
okay.
Confessions.
Nice.
Usher. When I was like, in 3rd grade, that was like when Yeah came out, Ludacris and Lil Jon. That was crazy for me. I wanted to like dance like him. It was crazy. But my parents, I like saved up my allowance and they took me to Lloyd Center. I don't know if anyone remembers a CD store that was in the Lloyd Center.
Okay.
Right next to where like the popcorn is now. But yeah, I went in there, got my first CD, and I was so excited. And I listened to that every day.
Just wore out the CD.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it pissed my parents off.
You know, I mean, there's definitely worse music you could have picked for sure. For sure. And then what was the first live show you ever went to that was like one you wanted to go to? So not like the very first one somebody brought you to, but like the one where you saw it was happening, you got the tickets, you went to it. Tech Nine. Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I did not used to like rap so much because I would just hear it on the radio. But one friend showed me like Tupac and Tech Nine, and I was like, damn, this is crazy. And so then I just got really into underground hip hop. And when I was old enough and he came to Portland, I was like in 9th grade. I was like begging my parents, like, please buy me these tickets.
Hell yeah.
And I was lucky enough that they did. And yeah, it was actually crazy night because I smoked PCP accidentally.
You shouldn't do that.
No. Don't smoke random people's blunts at a concert.
That is, that's a good public service now.
Yeah.
Don't smoke other people's stuff. Bring your own. Or just,
Exactly.
Public service announcement number 2. Just, but yeah, dude,
it was a crazy experience for sure.
And do you know what era of Tech Nine that was? Like, what was the popular song at the time?
That was like what was it? Like this KOD era.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And I think he had just done a song with like Kendrick Lamar around that time too.
Okay.
So it was popping.
Yeah.
And it was like my first like real concert, and I didn't know that there was like hella openers. So I was like, tired.
He definitely shows up with a grip of people.
And I was like, bro, another opener? I was like, another opener? I was like, damn. And then it got like to Chris Calico, and I was like, okay, we're getting close.
Yeah, like it has to be close. If now.
It was hella funny. But yeah, no, it was really fun. Other than the PCP.
I mean, the aside from that, it was a wild show.
It was funny. I must have been tweaking to the people behind me because I was like, this is not weed, bro.
Well, damn. Well, glad it was still at least a good show.
No, yeah, it was great. I got to see him perform my favorite song. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. No, I could still, I grew up with like earlier Tech Nine, but I could still do the entirety of This Ring from memory.
Yeah, that song, that was a song where I was just like, the multi-syllabic rhyming that he was doing was just so crazy. Yeah.
It was also like, I think it was a little more accessible because like he doesn't start as fast in the beginning, but like he still has those moments where it's like, the da 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 da, and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, it like grabs you right from the beginning.
I would when I was like in middle school, print out his lyrics and just kind of go through them, and that's how I would copy a lot of like his rhyming schemes, and that's how I kind of got started writing as well.
Okay.
Just practicing like other rappers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's
my words and then kind of switching it around.
That's a good way to learn, like, different cadences, different flows, like how words can fit together. Like, a thesaurus should be your best friend in those instances, but like learning those patterns and timing, I think you can only do it by like, learning other people's stuff to kind of translate it to your own.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then before we get into you in the more current day, do you have a defining moment where you decided you wanted to take music more seriously?
Yeah, ever since like I was a kid and just hearing music, especially Michael Jackson, watching a lot of his like early music videos, I was like, damn, like I want to do that. And for some reason, like I just always in the back of my head had it that like that's what I'm gonna do, you know? So that's just always been the plan. I like food a lot, so worst case, I'm just gonna be a chef. But this has always been my first like option and what I've wanted to do. So I'm just always trying to pursue that, and mainly just with the music first, you know?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Kind of all like the marketing and stuff, like I feel like will come. I'm slowly learning all that. But right now it's just like I want to have really good music and get, you know, network with really cool people like you.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, that's mostly what I want to do with it. But I think the defining moment for me was probably going to that Tech Nine concert.
Okay, so yeah, like once you like got to see it happen.
Because once I saw people up there, I was like, I could do that. Like that looks so much fun, and I've always wanted to be kind of accepted, like the little kid in me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So having people just at the crowd cheering for you, I was like, oh yeah, that, and I'm playing like my music that I love, like that. That's what did it for me. I was like, yeah. I'm doing this.
No, I dig that for sure. All right, now let's go ahead and let's get on into you in the present day. But we're going to get a super easy one out of the way first.
Yeah.
How'd you pick the name?
Atheos. When I was in middle school, I just saw like a graffiti tag. Somebody spray painted Atheos is dead. And I don't know why. I was like, I don't know what that means.
Oh, no.
And so it just stuck with me for the longest time. And then I looked it up, and it was basically just going against all like theologies. At the core of nature is just like rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an Aquarius, so I feel like that just like resides with me.
Mm-hmm.
Always like not wanting to stick to the norm and kind of wanting to do my own thing. Not wanting to do like trends or what everyone else is doing in the music as well. Kind of create my own sound.
Mm-hmm.
And try like new techniques, maybe a little more pop stuff than rap. Kind of just try to like intermingle those two genres more. But yeah, like doing that is pretty much it.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. And let's go ahead and talk about your writing process.
Yeah.
And we're going to break it up into chunks, but we're going to start right at the beginning. So when you get inspired, you're ready to make music. How do you get a track started?
For the longest time, getting inspiration was really tough. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I want to wait till I'm in the right headspace and like that. But I realized if I really want to do this shit, like you kind of have to force yourself. And my thing is I just try to practice a little bit, like at least a little bit every day.
Yeah.
But every day I try to get in the studio or try to get some writing done. But when it's hard for me, I usually start with beats. I'll usually skim through my old stuff because a lot of times I'll go back and I'll be like, oh, this one actually is nice.
Yeah.
And I'll just find one until I kind of am feeling it, and I'll just pull it up and start kind of mumbling melodies and just messing around. It sounds hella goofy in like real time, but it actually helps a lot.
Yeah.
To get ideas out, and then eventually like I'll land on a phrase and a melody, and then I'll kind of go from there and actually start putting words to it.
Oh yeah. And I know you said you're a rapper and a producer. Did you start like making your own beats before you like really got into rap? Did you start making them afterwards? What made you decide to go both routes?
Yeah. So I started like writing like in middle school, but it wasn't until like after high school where I started producing. I just mixtapes were popular back then, so a lot of people would rap over popular beats. And so that's kind of what I did mostly. And then I was like, I kind of want to do my own thing. I kind of want like beats that would be like mine.
Yeah.
And so I kind of started looking into that, and I was too broke to like afford people's beats and stuff. And at that point, it wasn't really big. Like there wasn't like the Beat Stars stores and stuff like that where you could buy beats. So I was like, I'm just gonna learn, and Audacity was free. and I just downloaded like drum loops off of YouTube.
Okay.
And then samples off of YouTube, and then chopped them up, and then just put the drums over it. And I was like, oh, this is actually pretty nice. For like my first couple beats, I was like, damn, okay. So like I listened to a lot of Kanye West, so all those like kind of beats and styles of beats, like the soul samples, were all I wanted to do when I first started. And I sampled a lot of stuff, and that kind of helped me perfect my drums. And now I'm working more on like creating melodies and all that stuff from scratch. So I'm going back to music theory, learning all that. But yeah, and it's been like slowly every skill that I learn goes right back into music that I'm working on. And
interesting.
It's so nice because it's like I'll learn something new, and I'm like, yes, I can use this now. It's another tool in the arsenal. It's
exactly.
Learn something else.
Hell yeah, no, I appreciate that for sure. And it's cool that you're trying to like get the theory incorporated into it as you learn it to kind of see like a real-time version of it. That I think is actually a really healthy approach towards like solidifying your understanding of it while figuring out how to make it applicable.
Yeah, it's like a lot of stuff was self-taught, but now that I'm going back and kind of learning stuff like how it's usually taught in schools, I'm connecting a lot of stuff that I didn't before, and it's like making a lot more sense. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
that's why I do that. And then
no, I dig that.
That's why like keys matter and scales matter, you know, because like now everything's in tune, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
My 808 used to be so out of tune.
that 808s is an art in its own right, but
yeah, it's crazy.
It's cool to be able to acknowledge that and like be able to like call on it when you know it's the right way to do it. And then once you get a track finished writing, so it doesn't have to be like produced and out per se, but like once you finish writing a track, how long does it usually take you to get comfortable to the point where you can perform it?
Usually after like it's recorded and everything, I'll just listen to it over and over again. Because most of the time I'm writing like in the moment as I go. So I'll go like line by line. I kind of learned that from Lil Wayne. But just kind of freestyle one line and then be like, did I like that one? Kind of tweak, write it down till it's perfect. Say that line and then go on to the next one and then kind of keep doing that. So I tend to forget a lot of the lyrics because it's just in the moment.
Yeah.
So listening to it once it's done really helps solidify it. And then, yeah, it's a song. If it's one lesson I learned from the Beatles was like, if it's not catchy, then it's not worth writing down. So I try to make my stuff like as catchy as possible, so it's easy for me to remember.
Yeah,
you know, if it's easy for me to remember, then it's gonna be easy for the audience.
Okay, that's a smart way to think about it,
right? Yeah.
And you know, I was going through some of your music. It looks like you've been putting out music, at least on Spotify. It's hard, you know, hard to dig through everything, but at least on Spotify, you've had music coming out since like 2022, and you kind of have a duality of sounds. Like you started very like single like vocal, not a lot of layers, not a lot of effects, just like you over some, and your beat selection was really strong. So I don't know if like were you doing all the beats on the early stuff or okay. So.
Yeah, everything that's released is my beats. Yeah.
Cool. That's really cool. And I dig the sound in it for sure. And then at like towards the end of 23, like halfway on there, and like, you know, right around the after Dead Beats and things like that, you started to have a little bit more of a like energetic sound. It was a little bit, not like, I don't want to say poppier, but it had more of a like kind of electronic hype in it. Yeah. But then I noticed your most recent track, Lawyer, you kind of go back to your original sound a little bit, like it's, you know, but it has elements of kind of the direction you move for a minute. So you've got a little bit of the auto tune in there. You've got a little bit of the layers. The beat has a bit more energy in it. But I mean, like personally, I would say that Lawyer is definitely my favorite track so far from everything that I heard. Because it feels like you kind of reached this progression, but you've taken a lot of what you've learned and you're you're integrating it into what is your new sound.
I appreciate it. Yeah. For the longest time, I haven't put out music like probably almost a year now. And I kind of wanted to delete all that old stuff, but you make a really good point. It's a really nice progression. Yeah. Because it's always kind of been a struggle of trying to like get like a little bit of, have like that Kanye kind of like rap with kind of like Drake's melodic stuff, and then like the Weeknd thrown in there as well. A little bit of Playboy Cardi. Like, it's like all these influencers trying to clash. And I was trying to get like the right sound, but I feel like Lawyer did a really good job of getting like a little bit of all that in there. And a lot of the new stuff I'm working on is continues from that.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, definitely looking forward to the things you have coming up next. I am curious to know, though, what is your favorite track of yours to perform?
Ooh, we just dropped with Liddy Tunes. Shout out to Liddy Tunes.
Shout out Liddy B.
We just dropped an album together. I made like one beat, the intro beat on there, and then I was like on 2 songs. But Vibes is really fun. It's got a lot of us on there, and just feel like when you perform with your friends, it's a lot more fun. So anytime I'm with them, it's a great time.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to performing more of those songs. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. And then let's take a step back. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. We're doing this in the wrong order. The next question, I want you to look at songs that you're working on that haven't come out yet. How would you describe some of your new music? Like, give us some like actual like action descriptive words. Like what are like some of the characteristics and things like that we can look forward to with new music coming out?
I definitely want to keep the energetic vibe. Just stuff that makes you want to dance, stuff that makes you want to hit stuff, stuff that makes you want to kiss someone, like just upbeat, feel good stuff, and over just me talking my shit.
So it's like, sounds like you want stuff that like invokes like emotions and things like that.
Yeah. Had a lot of like more where I'm just like rapping. And I still have a lot of those songs because I still love doing that. Yeah. Like letting my mind go crazy and just write down whatever. But I like when people, like I see people jump in, just getting that energy, like concert vibes. Like that's the kind of music I want. Stuff that's going to sound crazy at a concert.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah. Well, definitely looking forward to that.
Yes, sir.
And now, like I said, I want to zoom out a little bit because, you know, we've gotten all the way to talking about music that hasn't come out yet of yours, but looking at current music as a whole, or at least stuff you've been like more recent stuff that you've heard. What are some of the things about newer music that you enjoy right now?
Right now, I like the kind of experimental side of it right now. A lot of people think, especially with like Yeet and Benny X, the producer, they just have a really crazy sound, and I think that's why a lot of young kids are gravitating towards it. It's something that they haven't heard before. Even a lot of people are like, man, you can't understand what he's saying. He's mumbling. It sounds like crazy, but or you see like videos of Playboy Cardi like doing his ad libs, and he looks like he's tweaking out. But you know, it sounds crazy, and it's a new sound that we haven't heard before. So that like freedom is what I like a lot right now. That it gives more smaller artists the kind of the confidence to try newer stuff. It's like, don't do what's being done. You know, they already have people that sound like that. You know, like try to find something new. And so that's kind of been what I've been trying to do. But yeah, I think that's a really good place for the culture right now, because everyone's just trying out new stuff, and it might sound bad, but some of it is fire, and it's going to be like the next big thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like the Four Bats guy, like he's just like, let me just sing really high pitched and make a video where it does not look at all like a song. And it was crazy. So yeah, just trying out new things is always great, you know. Like people say, just try out. If it sounds cool, it sounds cool.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you. I think the direction music's moving right now, where it's like there are so many elements of music that just have come together. Like, you know, I mean, every producer can work in every genre now. Like, you know, everybody can kind of make their own sound. So it's like, I think that is my favorite part of it as well, is that we're seeing kind of this like medley of all kinds of sounds.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a great time, especially with Spotify. And how easy it is to like upload music.
Yeah, like now's the time to try. Now's the time to try things that you don't think are going to work.
Right.
You just don't know what's going to work.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the song you're hiding on might be the next hit. So
yeah. Well, that's like, you can't say you weren't the one who put it out first if you put it out first.
Exactly.
Like, so even if it doesn't land right away, if that sound comes around and you're like, no, look, I was doing that sound.
Right.
Here's a timestamp, check Spotify. Like it says, I put it out, you know, the year before this blew up. Then you kind of have that space.
Yeah, it's crazy because I dropped that song, Baby, which is more like poppy.
Yeah.
Almost kind of Western. I don't know.
It was definitely a little bit like more like relaxed than some of your other stuff. It felt very not like melancholy, but it had like a mood to it.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it was crazy because then I heard the Weeknd's album that came out like a couple months before, like right after I made that song, and I was like, damn, like
we done already did it.
Yeah, he already did. It's like that's what I was going for. So it's like, and that's happened a lot. So I know I'm on the right path.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Be more confident next time.
Yes. Now, before we move on to this next portion, this next question is probably the densest question in the interview.
Okay.
But, you know, we've talked a lot about your experience with music, the actions, the reactions, the things that you do and the things you want to do. But when it's just you and the music one-on-one, what does music give back to you?
It is my therapy. It is my happy place, my sanctuary. Like, I feel with, especially right now, everything going on, it's a crazy world. And with even just with like your jobs, you know, that shit gets stressful.
Yeah.
Relationships, all that. But when it's just like me and a beat, like I hear nothing else. And I feel like so at peace and so comfortable and so at home. And that's why I think I love it so much, because it's where I know I will always find peace, and it always brings me like the most happiness ever. So I'm addicted to it.
Oh yeah.
It's like, it's kind of a coping mechanism, but yeah, it just always made me happy. And it reminds me of a lot of good times from my childhood. So yeah, it's just always been a really peaceful place for me, for sure.
Oh yeah. No, I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh yeah.
But now let's go ahead and we're going to move on to some hypothetical questions.
Yes.
For these, sky's the limits. The questions are all made up, so the answers are allowed to be as well.
Nice.
But this first one's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
If you could work with any one person, the only requirement is they have to be alive.
Okay.
Who would you want to work with, and how would you want to work with them?
Oh, this is a tough question. I like 40, Drake's producer.
I thought you meant E40 first. I was like, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, E40's fucking dope. That's E40.
Shout out E40.
But 40, the producer, has always been influential for me. Just like, he tried a different sound with Drake, and then that became like their whole thing.
Yeah.
And he's just been really smart, and I just grew up watching a lot of his videos. So making a beat with him would be crazy. Seeing like his process and like his critiques, I feel like it'd be like a master class, and I would just learn so much. But yeah, making a beat with him is definitely like top of my list for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then subsequently, who's a local artist that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to?
Oh, there's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of good women artists as well that I want to work with. Win right now is popping, but I've been following her for a minute, and just seeing the process has been crazy.
Yeah.
Amine would be dope as well, for what he's been doing to the city. Swiggle Mandela.
Oh, shout out Swiggle Mandela.
Shout out to Swiggle. Yeah, those are like my top 3 right now. I won't say the other one because we already did a feature, but you guys have to stay tuned for that.
Oh, okay. Okay, hell yeah. Well, everybody, you know what to do. Add all of them in the comments. Let's see if we can get a track going.
Yes, sir.
And then for this next one, like I said before, sky's the limits, and it's pretty literal in this sense. But if you could perform anywhere in the world, and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access or building stability or power. It's guaranteed the best lineup, guaranteed the best show, and it doesn't have to be a venue. It could be anywhere. Where would you want to perform?
I'd have to choose a venue.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'd say Vegas at the Dome.
Okay.
I feel like that would be crazy. Just have some like trippy visuals going on in the background. Just, yeah, I'm really into technology and where we're going with AI and stuff. So it's been really cool to see that. So taking people like on a, like enhancing their usual concert experience with that kind of visuals, I feel like would be epic.
Hell yeah.
I feel like a different world for sure.
No, very much so. And, you know, actually, I had been saying this before, and then somebody let me know this already kind of happens. I keep recommending for people that say they should try and do like IMAX theaters.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like it's like a scaled down version. And there is somebody who is doing that now.
Damn.
I just don't know. I wish I had written it down and could have remembered. Like they're like that. I feel like is kind of the direction to move towards, moving towards that, because it's just, you know, it's that whole screen experience, and it would like, it's very immersive. So I think that is a smaller version of the Sphere for sure.
Yeah, people just want to be entertained, so anything that can heighten and enhance the experience, I'm down for it. But yeah, I feel like that would just be fun to perform in general.
Hell yeah. And then to wrap up the hypothetical questions, if you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have not put out an album in 100 years, they could have put out an album yesterday.
Yeah.
Who would you want an album from?
This is tough. Michael Jackson.
Hell yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Michael Jackson or Prince. I feel like those two would be crazy. And then I know they like have a bunch of unreleased stuff that are making into albums, but it's not the same, you know?
No, I mean, especially like with the way the world is and things like that. Like the music that would have come out now,
it would
just from everything that's like happened just in general, like it would have been really powerful for sure.
Yeah. Even like a John Lennon one, even though he was a piece of shit, even one of those would be fucking dope too. Like around that time, 80s would have been crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up.
All right.
What can we look forward to between, let's say, now and November?
Now in November, a lot of singles.
Okay.
I want to start dropping singles every month. In the process right now, finishing a bunch right now, just so I can have a lot ready. But yeah, a lot of singles every month. A lot of content on Instagram. Make a lot of... do a lot of funny, stupid shit on Instagram. A lot of cool videos as well. And yeah, a lot of more shows, especially this summer. Shout out to Liddy Tunes. We're going to do a lot more stuff with them, a lot more projects with the whole squad. It's always fun getting together with them. We had just a lot more music. Been like a year, so I'm ready to
Hell yeah.
come back from hibernation and just constant drops.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to all of that.
For sure.
This next one, go and look straight at the camera and tell everybody how they can find you.
Yeah, I can find me on Instagram. Atheos is alive. On Threads, Atheos is alive. YouTube, Twitter, or X. Yeah, Atheos is alive on all those. Pretty easy to find. Find me on BeatStars if you want some beats from me. Yeah, Atheos on Spotify, Apple Music, all that fun stuff, for sure.
Oh, yeah. And then any other plugs, any other shout-outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Just want to shout out to all the Portland artists doing their thing right now. I know a lot of the city, there's a lot of jealousy, a lot of hate and stuff, but, you know, we're all just trying to, you know, better our lives and make good music. So shout out to everyone who's like really put in the work into doing this. Yeah, shout out to Liddy Tunes for putting together such a solid group of artists. Shout out to Frano from the North.
No, shout out Frano.
One of the best producers doing it right now. But yeah, just love to the city. Everyone putting on for it, for sure.
Oh, yeah. All right, now we've got one last question to go. But before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second. Yeah. As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. I guarantee you're going to like it. Make sure to use code JAMBOX for 20% off and a free gift. With that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation.
Yes, sir.
But what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? So it's a deep cut. It's when you think not a lot of people would know, but it's when you think everybody should know.
This This is tough. I don't know. I like a lot of popular music, but in terms of,
I mean, you can even go back, like think something like maybe you grew up on that just like never blew up, or like, you know, it's just like something from like just like one that you're like, damn, I wish more people did know this.
All right, definitely Majid Jordan. Their first album is self-titled, but that they're one of I think Drake signed them back in the day, but they blew my mind. Just they're like a duo. So one of them makes beats, Jordan, and Majid sings, but they're just like some crazy like kind of 80s inspired pop.
Oh hell yeah!
And then Majid's voice is like kind of higher pitched and pretty angelic, and just the combination I never heard before, and not that many people know about him. And I'm like, damn, it sucks because you would think that if Drake signed them, they'd be bigger.
Yeah.
But they're still doing like kind of smaller shows, but they are so fucking talented, and yeah, they deserve way more love for sure.
Oh yeah.
Seen them every time they've come to Portland.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, that's a super solid rec. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, but we're going to go ahead and get up on out of here. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate the Brothers Apothecary.
Oh, hey.
It was delicious.
Oh yeah. And that being said, this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
Atheos.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.